past few months haven't been very easy for the Indian automobile industry. Sales have been down, but one bright spark that always seems to excite consumers as well as the market is a new launch. And what better new launch than the car that's been perhaps most hotly anticipated, not just this year, but for some time now. That is a car that marks Honda's entry into the diesel space here in the Indian market, and it is the all-new Amaze. It's right here behind me. And we're going to speak about the Amaze, the strategy for diesel when it comes to Honda's future plans, and a whole lot more with the man who heads the operations here in India for Honda. We've got Mr. Hironori Kanayama joining us right now. He is the President and CEO. Thank you.
Good afternoon, and thank you very much for inviting me here.
I'm very pleased to be speaking to you today because it is such a significant day for your company. So I will firstly start by congratulating you on the new car and just give us your first reactions to how important this is for Honda in India.
You see, as you know well, we had a disadvantage that we didn't have a diesel car at all, in spite of the fact that the diesel market is growing year by year. And in the universe which we have operating was about 10% of total market. But with the launch of the Amaze and other new models to come, our universe will increase to 50% within a few years. So today is the landmark day for us to take another counterattack to this Indian market.
That's what makes this very exciting also, because for many years now we've all been asking, when will Honda step into the diesel space, even at a time when diesel wasn't so big in India. Now, of course, everybody's talking about fuel pricing and where it's going, but the point you make about just the relevance of your overall business becoming so much larger, how have you prepared yourself for that huge leap?
Yes, because India is such an important market strategically for Honda, because Honda believes in the high potentiality of this market. And although the market situation is not so good at present, but we are confident that it will pick up in due course.
But how would you say you have prepared yourself for the complete shift of business? I mean, you're now going to be operating in much larger volumes and in a much more intense way when it comes to competition as well. So what are the changes at Honda India to take on this new outlook?
Well, there's not much change. Our objective is to launch any model which will be accepted by the customers, and therefore wherever there is a market, we will do something to those markets. And as I said, the importance of the India to Honda has become very tremendously large compared with the past. So I think that will be one of the major change in ourselves.
Okay, and that's a big change. The other models, etc., we'll speak about in a bit, but let me stick with the Amaze story. You've also looked at a very different kind of a marketing campaign for this car. This is despite the fact that you've already had one volumes model, the Brio, that you've already brought to our market. Why does this one become so much more significant?
It's because, you see, Brio is intended for the hatchback customers. But there are more customers in the sedan market. And as I said, we launched the diesel model in addition to petrol model. So I think we can capture more markets with this.
Okay, and even the fact that you're now looking at a larger network in terms of adding more dealers, getting into more cities, how have you gone about that? What are the key areas where you felt, or the key regions in the country where you felt you needed to expand more?
We have established a brand in the Tier 1 or metro cities. But I think as year passes by, the size of the Tier 2, Tier 3 cities will become more bigger. Therefore, we plan to sell this model, about 6% of this model, to such a Tier 2, Tier 3 cities.
And of course, it all comes back to the pricing. I know there was a lot of anticipation about the price. When you announced the price today, I think people were applauding with good reason, because the general assumption was that, being Honda, the price would be very premium. How difficult was it for you to come up with such an aggressive price?
Well, you see, our criteria of the product development is to make it competitive more than anyone else. It's not only the case of pricing, but also quality, cost, etc. Therefore, we just realized our way of thinking, our mindset, I should say. And then I think we have done a great thing this time, and we are confident this is going to be accepted much more than we had expected earlier.
The reason I also ask you that is not just because, of course, a good price attracts customers, so that part is not lost on us. But in this market, the benchmark has been, the Swift family, the Swift Desire, and others have also tried to either price lower than Swift or, try and price on par with Maruti Suzuki, but have not necessarily got the volumes. So what is it that gives you the confidence, besides the pricing, that you will be able to, make a very significant dent in this segment?
Well, it's because Honda made a lot of study about this market and customers' preference. And then we had a lot of difficulty in the development, and including the localization to reduce cost or to make our cost more competitive. Then such a study revealed that this pricing and car should be like this.